Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 415. We up to the fifth movie in the Rocky franchise. We're up to Rocky 5 from 1990. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate. So this is the first time you watching this movie because the last episode that we talked about, you said you didn't.
I thought I had seen it, but I've never seen it.
Okay, so is there anything you want to talk? You don't have to give your actual review, but like initial reaction. Maybe let's get one of those.
Okay, initial reaction. This one actually looked good in 4K compared to, it was very, very clean, very nice. You do have the original director coming back from the first Rocky. You also have Bill Conti coming back to do the music. So that was cool to see. And you had all the same actors pretty much playing the main roles. So that was neat. Other than that, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, man. All right. Well, okay. So this is the last time you get to see Mickey, Meredith back as Mickey in the movie. I thought it was like CGI or lost movie clips, like
new scenes.
Yeah. So this is really him because he died in 1997.
Oh,
so
yeah.
He literally,
he's still,
so he literally came back. He played Mickey, and we'll talk about those.
If he was alive in real life, why the heck did they kill him in Rocky 3?
Exactly. I don't know why.
What a weird choice, just to bring him back as a ghost, as like an angel.
Yeah, so that was pretty interesting. Okay, financially, this movie was $42 million budget. Okay. Worldwide, it made $119 million. So it's kind of semi-successful, but the funny thing is about all the Rocky movies, they've all made money. Regardless.
Yeah, this one, I wouldn't say, I would say it's a failure in the sense of coming off of 4, which made like astronomical amounts of money. This is very disappointing, but it wasn't like a major flop. Like it probably didn't lose the studio money. They just didn't really make a lot either. They probably made a little bit,
Yeah. So, all right, let's get to the critics and audience. Okay. What did they say about this movie?
Well, this is interesting. So the critics dip from part 4 to part 5 is small. It's only a 7% difference. This has a 32. Remember, Rocky 4 only had a 39. So, but the audience score is a huge, massive dip. A minus 48% from the last movie. This has a 31% audience score. So 32 and 31, pretty much audience and critics pretty much the same, but the Rocky 4 had a 79% and this only has a 31. This is by far the lowest as far as audience score. It's not even close.
All right, so
people hated it.
That is a shocker. To me, it's a shocker in terms of the drop. I think that's a big significant drop from I think the second one.
That's a lot of people. Yeah, I mean the first one had like a 90 or something. The second and third were in the 80s. The fourth one is like a 79. Like they're high, and then this has a 31. So it's significant.
All right, so let's get into it. Okay. As regarded one of the worst Rocky movies ever filmed, to a lot of people, that's what they say.
Okay.
I'm going to say something that might shock a lot of people.
Uh-oh.
I got a change of heart. I'm going to say.
What?
Yeah, I got a change of heart watching this movie.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about this while watching. Some stuff I do have nitpicks and gripes. Sure. But other than that, we're going to talk about it. So, lead character, Rocky's back. Adrian's back. Paulie's back.
Yeah.
That's it. From the main characters.
Yes.
And now his son, Rocky Jr., which is played by Stage Stallone. Rest in peace, the late Stage Stallone. So go ahead.
Okay, I didn't even know he passed away. Okay.
Yeah, he died in the 90s, I believe.
Oh, that's sad. Okay. Well, he was actually kind of good. Okay. Lead character. So again, I've never seen this. So I thought I've seen it. I never watched this movie. And going in, you can't help but know, especially if you're a movie lover, you can't help but know that people hate this movie, right? Like, you're like, okay, I know I'm not going to have any preconceived notions, but I know most people don't like it. So let me just watch it with clean eyes. Let's see. I gave the lead characters a 4, and I'll explain why. I liked them. I still liked Rocky. I thought Talia Shire was great in this movie. I'm not even going to lie. I thought she was really good. She has numerous scenes where she's yelling, she's mad, she's frustrated, but because she loves Rocky and she just wants him to, and she's kind of tough in this movie. I like that. That when that guy comes, the promoter guy comes around, she's like, I ain't playing these games. Get at it. Get away from Rocky, you idiot. She goes back to work at the fish store. I like that she uses the newspaper clippings as like doo-doo droppings for the birds.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah. She's like, I'll show him. But anyway, Rocky's good. The only reason, here's why he doesn't get a 5. Because I feel like, and this will definitely be affecting the storyline, I feel like they tried too hard to bring him back to Rocky 1. down on his luck. He's even wearing the same clothes as Rocky 1. Like, he lost all his clothes in the foreclosure. They don't take your clothes whenever you go poor like that and they foreclose like your house and you have to sell they don't take all your clothing. You can keep that. You got to wear something. So this guy just automatically starts dressing like a bum again. And and I was like, it felt a little contrived. Other than that, I liked the stuff with the son, actually. I thought that was pretty good. It was interesting. I liked the stuff with Tommy. It was interesting. He's kind of like the Mickey to his Rocky. You know what I mean? Yeah, I thought it was good. I gave it a 4. It doesn't reach the peak of like 1, 2, and 3 where he was like a 5, but I still gave him a 4. I liked him.
Okay, so Sage Stallone died in 2012 at the age of 36 of a heart attack. All right, so with that said, I can't believe I will be saying this, but I gave the lead characters a 4.
Oh, okay.
Normally I would have gave this shit a 1 or a 2 from what I remember, right? And I was like, oh my God, but I gave it a 4. I do agree. I will say this though, Rocky as a character, I felt like Stallone was hamming that shit up because it felt weirdly weird the way he was acting. But then again,
yes.
I was telling my wife it could be that he got too many blows to the head and he was trying to act like he was a different person with all the hits. And I was like, he was acting dumb anyway in the first 4 movies. So it's okay. Like, it didn't bother me. But I just felt like this movie, it just felt something was off with the character. And I know he got a lot of concussions and they were playing that off and everything, but it did not work with me with the acting. But I was like, it is what it is. But I did give a 4. Talia Shire is the highlight of this entire film. This is the only movie you get to see tons of emotion coming out of her, where she interferes in the press conference, where she's like interfering with the manager and the promoter going, my husband is not fighting you no more. He is retired. Like, right. It is what it is. And I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. Paulie didn't say much in this movie. He got his teeth hit and knocked out. But other than that, Paulie didn't have a sense of, while the storyline is around Paulie giving away their fortune, which is, we'll talk about that in the storyline, but he's in the back burner. I like Rocky Jr. I think Stage Stallone did a great job as a son. I wish this was a storyline that continued in Balboa, where he's a fighter, because then it would have been awesome to see Rocky Jr. versus Creed Jr. in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, he's conflicted on who he's going to train, whether it's Apollo. He beats up those kids
and takes his jacket back, he knows how to fight a little bit.
But like, it wouldn't have been a cool storyline where Apollo Creed, Michael B. Jordan goes to him just like in the movie to train, and then his son is trying to do the same thing as far, like, dude, you have to train me so I could whatever. And then little behold, he gets trained and then he starts to go up in ranks and then he has to fight. And now he has to choose between the two. I think that would have been a really good storyline. Will he go after his son or will he go with
Well, they could have still done it because the son didn't die. Like, the character didn't die. So like, they could have used it.
But they made him into like this realist accountant.
They changed
this whole thing, which I was like, this is kind of whack. I would have had him like a fighter, like his father. But anyway, I like staging this. I thought it was good. I liked the conflict between him and his father and Tommy. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, overall, I gave it a 4. I was very stunned to see. It was pretty good. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought the characters were Stallone did a great job writing these characters. I mean, it's not like they were really bad.
I agree.
It's not the worst of the worst.
No, I agree. I think the characters are the best part. Like, they still feel like mostly the same. And, at least it's something different, like losing the fortune, I think they overdo it. And so that's why it'll affect the storyline. But I think the characters still feel the same. And I feel like their reactions are natural. I like the stuff with the family. Like, I thought they were good.
Yeah. Okay. Main villain. So you got a promoter, Duke.
George Washington Duke.
George Washington Duke. Yes. So you got George Washington Duke and then Tommy Machine Gun.
All right. Okay. I think, well, let's start with George Washington Duke. I thought he was fine, but like, he's a typical boxing promoter. Is he really a bad guy? Not really. He's just trying to make money. Like, that's what boxing promoters do. I think he's supposed to be a fill-in for like Don King. You know what I mean? Who's like the biggest boxing promoter. And he's like, the worst thing he does is like, he gets a little personal. Right? He gets in his personal space a little bit, but nothing I was really paying attention. Nothing he says or does is so horrible that it's like, what an evil guy. He's just trying to make money, and that's what promoters do. So in that regard, I'm like, okay, well, is he really even a villain? Not really, but I guess he's the antagonist of this story. Tommy Gunn, here's my problem with that. We've talked about this on this show. I love a good, we used to be friends, now we're enemies story. It works, right? Two people, close relationship, and then bitter enemies. it's too short. It's too short of when Tommy decides he doesn't like Rocky anymore. You know, the guy gets literally, I had to go to the bathroom, so I had to pause it. And there was only 18 minutes left when Tommy finally goes to the bar and it's like, I want to fight you anytime, anywhere. It's like the last 15 minutes of the movie. So I like them together training. And I think like it should have happened earlier. If it would have happened earlier where they could build up more of the like, him really them being in his ear, like Rocky's keeping you down. You're never going to be your own man. You know, if it was longer than 5 minutes worth, it might have been better. As such, I don't think Tommy Gunn is like a true villain. He's, you know, you're rooting for him for most of the movie. And the promoter is a promoter. Like I gave him a 2. I didn't, you know, and the only reason it's not a 1 is because they fight. Tommy fights him in the street fight. And it was, you know, it was whatever. Stallone started doing. Oh, we'll talk about it in action. Never mind. Yeah, I gave him a 2. It is not the greatest as far as the villains.
Okay, so here I'm a point higher than you. I gave it a 3. And the reason why, you know, he goes back to the bar and he calls him out and punches Paulie and then they would fight. So I was like, that gave him the extra point. That's why I really gave it 2. Other than that, I kind of agree with you. This could have been a 1 or 2. It didn't bother me. I gave it a 3 because of that. But Duke did his job. I don't see how bad he was. A little far-fetched in the situation towards the end. The dude literally won the championship and the first thing he goes is to that bar and fights. Which
with the camera.
With a live camera. Oh yeah, that was so stupid.
Let's get the crime on film of him assaulting people.
Yeah. So to me, that aspect of the film did not work for me. But in terms of the characters, I think Tommy was cool. He's arrogant. He wanted everything super fast. There's not much to say because the character was, I felt like the character wasn't developed very well. It was super fast. Like Rocky trained him and then he started winning. He was like 29-0. And then all of a sudden he doesn't get a title shot. And Rocky's like, well, let's just take our time. And, you know, it's not about this. And he wants the fame and the fortune and all this stuff. And it's kind of weird for a movie that does the whole, he lost his entire fortune. Now they're going to, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of the yin and the yang. Like he just lost all his millions at the same time. Now he's training someone to make tons of money. And the guy just literally lost millions of dollars, which I'm like, okay, whatever. It shows you that he's a great coach because of what happened with Tommy Gunn, you know? So could have told you, he could have trained someone else and made a lot of money, but he doesn't use his head that way. So for me, honestly, I gave it a 3. I thought it was good. He's not the Drago. He's not Clubber Lang.
No,
not even Apollo.
Yeah, and Apollo you like for most of the movie.
I agree with that. I think this was just a filler of a fighter for this type of movie.
It should be said, Tommy Morrison is an actual boxer. He's not an actor. He's not a trained actor. He does mostly okay. There's a few delivery where it's like, okay, he's not an actor. But I tend to give people a pass if they are not an actor and they don't act well. What am I going to get mad at this guy? He's not an actor. It's different when you have like a big name actor and then they suck in the role. That's not really the case here.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right, so let's get right into action scenes.
Okay. Again, I gotta be honest. If this is some of the stuff where this movie falters for me, because all you have here is a recap of Rocky 4. So I'm not even going to count that at the beginning. You have Tommy Gunn fighting like boxing matches, but they're all, it's a montage pretty much. And then you have the street fight at the end. And this street fight is so goofy. If it was just like a bare knuckle boxing fight, I might have liked it better. But my man Rocky's doing like leg sweeps. He's doing karate. He's doing like Mortal Kombat legs. He goes down, sweeps the leg. He's like jumping kick. I'm like, what the heck? What is this? I hate that. Then they tackle each other and get to the brawling on the floor. When it's just punches, it's pretty good. Other than that, this has the worst montages in it out of all the movies. It has like montages done to like very early 90s hip hop sounding music. It doesn't work. It's not exciting. It's like, nope, I don't like that. And I love 90s movies and I love 90s hip hop. But this is that time where it was like not good. You know, like 90, 91, where the music was like that. It's like fast, like it's like that kind of music, you know. I'm like, this is not what I listen to. So pretty weak in the action department. I'm gonna be honest. I gave it another 2. I didn't give it a 1, but I gave it a 2.
Yeah, I gave it a 2. Also, I thought it was decent. I did not like the fight in the street. I did not like it at all. it became comical.
Yeah.
It became comical. It came like he just walked in. And he's like, you don't turn your back on me. And then Paulie's pushing the guy. And I'm like, bro, you're going to get your hit. You're going to get hit. And he got hit.
Yeah, he gets right in his face.
Yeah. And he was just like, you knocked my tooth out. He's just like, hey, you want to fight? You know, my ring's outside. And I'm just like, okay, fine. But then the promoter is like, oh, like, if you lose, you're going to lose everything. And he's getting all crazy. And I was just like, what is going on here? After he had an actual boxing match. Like, the dude won the title. So he should have
got
been
a busted face already. And he can get a street fight.
So,
go into this bar with a bunch of people you don't know that he should have got jumped, first of all. Like,
exactly.
Ganged up on him.
Exactly. He should have not won that fight. Rocky should have just came down with 20 deep and whooped his ass. It was too unrealistic, especially in Philadelphia, where he is beloved. There is no way you're going to call out Rocky in a bar full of dudes drunk and pick a fight with him, because you're going to get 20 ass whoopings from everybody and you're not coming out winning. So for me, that was an aspect of the movie that was not realistic at all. I was just like, but they allowed him to fight. And the fact that Rocky already, due to storyline, he has concussions. He can't get in the ring. He got hit. This dude hit him once. He would have been down and out. And you saw it in the movie where Adrian and he's yelling at Adrian. He got a migraine after chasing a car.
Yeah, he's like,
my brain. And you saw Drago's face in the whole image. Like, Drago's the one that did it.
The jumping punch. I did laugh. That kind of made me laugh. I was like, bro, Drago gave him a headache from the beyond.
Yeah, so for me, honestly, I did not like that fight. I totally agree with you. Well, first of all, this movie starts off with like 20 minutes of Rocky 4. I was like, holy hell, I'm reliving this shit again. But it's like the worst part of Rocky 4. Yeah. Not the good parts. You're just like, oh, here we go. So I had to fast forward a little bit.
I'm like, why that part again? Why would they show that part again?
Yeah, so I was just like, oh boy. The montages was okay, but then again, it was like some superhero shit. My man, there's one thing, and I was just like, no. I was like, me and my wife laughed hard, was when he tagged him. He said, bang! And the dude bounced off the rope, and then he uppercuts him, and the dude does like a 10 flip.
Yeah.
Mouth popping. And I said, nope. I said, I said, this is the Rocky boxing curse. Yep. Of bologna sandwich. It's up there now with the spine buster of Drago. When you picked him up with the spine buster.
And they re-showed that too, the spine buster. Yeah,
he could have picked him up.
Also at the end, when he does the Super Mortal Kombat uppercut to the promoter.
You touch me, I see you.
Did. He goes like,
he hit him with the Popeye uppercut. Yeah, like, what the heck? It's so, and he's like, you good, I don't have nothing.
Like this. I was like,
should have wind up his fist.
May as well.
Yeah, that was so Popeye. Yeah, I just gave it a 2. I wasn't invested in this as much. I thought it was a decent amount of fighting in the movie, but not as. I think his son had a better match.
You know, against the kid. When he beat up the kid, that kid from Entourage. That's the guy from Entourage, that little brat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Kevin Conley. Have you ever seen Entourage? The main guy, like the main one, that's him. When he was a kid.
Okay.
So that was, I knew it. I was like, oh my God, that's Kevin Conley. When I looked it up, I was like, yep, it is. So funny thing though, with the fighting, you made a good point. And I thought about this. Okay. He got too much concussion, right? He'd been punched in the head too many times and his brain is all jacked up. He got a hole in his membrane or whatever that doctor, they made up some weird mumbo jumbo. Okay. He can't fight, but then he's going to do a street fight with no gloves, bare knuckle, against the current heavyweight champion, right? He gets beat up, he falls down, and then Mickey comes to visit him.
You're a bum, Rocky. You gotta get up. You gotta continue fighting.
You know, he's yelling at him, and then he gets up, he's like, one more round, whatever, you know? That's when he started doing karate sweeps and stuff. My point I was going to make was, if he could fight this guy in the street and beat him in, like, what? That probably 5 minutes, maybe?
Yeah.
That would be about 2 rounds of boxing. He should just boxed him. He should have just got paid for it. If you're going to fight him anyway, this movie should have been 15 minutes longer, and he should have said, I'll see you in the ring. And they should have fought, have it go the same way, let Tommy land some punches, Rocky falls down, Mickey's angel comes and goes, and then he gets up in the corner, and then he finishes him off. Yeah. Why not do that? And then he could have made some money. And he could have, there's a different way this could have went. If you're gonna have him fight no matter what, even with his messed up brain, at least do it in the ring. It's safer. You have gloves instead of just bare knuckles.
But I mean, we can talk about his storyline.
Okay.
Okay, so two across the board. All right, storyline.
Okay, apply all of that stuff I just said to storyline as well. Apply that to storyline as well. That was something that bothered me. Also, again, I feel like they went overboard with the let's make Rocky how he was in Rocky 1 stuff. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we've been there. We saw there's nothing worse than seeing someone come from dirt and then make it to the top. If you're going to do a rise and fall storyline, the fall has to be more tragic than, Paulie signed over a power of attorney to some accountant and he took all he invested it in some money and he failed. The investments failed. And they had nothing to do with it. It was a total, whatever. And then there has to be a redemption other than there's not one here. He fights him in the street. He beats him. He's still poor. Now he's going to get sued. You don't have no money, but that guy's going to sue him. So it's like, what was the point of this? Like the whole point of Rocky 1 is he got nothing and he had a moment, right? He had that boxing match. He made some money. He had a moment. The second one builds on it. The third one builds on it. The fourth one doesn't really build on that aspect story-wise, but still, you've gotten to a point, and then this one kind of just is like, well, let's just take everything away and make him an underdog again. Let's make him poor again. But he's not going to fight in the ring either. So you don't even get what you want most of the time. So it's a little frustrating. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I just think there's a lot of decisions that were made that I didn't like, and I'm at a 2 again. I gave this one a 2 as well.
So I was torn with this one because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was shocked on how not bad this movie is. It's really not that bad. If you look at it from like you put on a pair of lenses and just move yourself back a bit and don't harp on him losing his fortune. Like if you really look at it, it's just a typical sequel to a movie, but it's just not as bad. Like it's, to me, and Nate, you might agree with me, this might fall under the Die Hard 2, Die Harder movie, right? Everyone thinks that movie's a piece of crap, but when you rewatch it, you're like, you know what? It's not that bad of a movie. That's what I think of Rocky 5. Die Hard 2 to me is a little bit better than Rocky 5, but it's to me, it's in the same category. It's not the best, but honestly, it's not that bad of a film. Yes, Paulie signs the power of attorney. First of all, would never happen because Adrian and Rocky are the two main people of the household. So I don't know how all of a sudden
he got
Paulie,
Rocky to sign it, but even still,
no,
they said Rocky signed it. It was legal. That's why it was legal. But
because the way Adrian said it was, you signed. It said Paulie said
Paulie's the one who gave him the paperwork, but probably didn't explain it to him. Doesn't even know what it was.
Gotcha.
Rocky signed it. Only.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. So but still, Rocky didn't do nothing there.
Right.
His brain was so lost, and my wife was like, "Bro, that dude would not be standing there if he lost all that stuff." Right. And he still takes him in, and I'm like, that to me, that's not a realistic storyline. Because if you lose 100 million he looked like he was making 200 million tops because he was rich, filthy rich. So to have Paulie again in the picture, to me, did not fit with that type of storyline. They should have did something more tragic with Paulie in that sense. But yeah, I did not like that storyline at all. I think they could have worked more with the concussion in the movie because I was more interested in that when he was shaking in the bathroom. Yo, bro, tell me not. When you started watching the movie, you were like, holy shit, this is actually pretty good. When he was like, call for Adrian, I was like, I don't even remember this scene.
In the shower like this.
Yeah, and then he's like, Adrian, I'm starting to shake. And I was like, yo, this is actually a pretty good beginning to the movie. But then it just falls down because he loses his millions. And
it just happens so fast. It goes from like everything to nothing.
Yes. Yeah. It just, this guy comes in, can you train me? Then he trains him. And then it was just like, it's a roller coaster of just highs and not that much lows again.
Rocky reopened Mickey's gym. He should be making some money. You can't, I bet he train there for free. You know what I mean? Even if you charge him a little bit. And I guess that's how they did live. Like they were surviving. So I guess maybe he was making a little bit.
I mean, I don't think, my personal opinion is, like Angelina said, was they took all the big money, but maybe Adrian was smart enough and had some savings under an account. Because, women have a different account.
And then he was making everybody was paying $10 gym fee or something.
Yeah,
probably
and
making
then
a little bit of money. They got to
yeah,
eat.
and then so in reality, he has money coming from somewhere, and then he opens up Adrian's restaurant in the next movies. But I'm okay with it. The storyline, I thought it wasn't bad. I just think I agree with you. It should have went into the ring, and I think that's where it should have took his toll. Him getting punched in the ring, like, you know what I mean? Like, instead of him winning, maybe it's like a bad. Like, finally you get to see him not lose, or maybe just him catching a stroke.
What
or
if
something.
they did it where like he had the brain damage, but it wasn't. But it was like he could get cleared to fight, for example, and then in that last fight, it was his last. Like it was his ultimate. Now he took too many punches. Now he has to retire. You could get most of the same stuff if they did it that way. Get him in the ring.
Yeah, it could be. All right. Well, you gave it a what? 1?
A 2.
You give it a 2. Yeah, I give it a 2. I thought it was a decent on that one. Okay, 0. I mean 0. All right, overall.
I do agree with you though. Like when I was watching this movie, I didn't hate it. There's flaws, right? And we're reviewing it, so we have to be a little critical. But there's like if I was doing another Rocky watch through, like let's say I knew a friend and they never see none, I wouldn't be like, okay, when we get to part 5, like, oh no, here comes Rocky 5. I think it's watchable. The characters feel most of the same. Is it the worst out of the Rocky movies? Yes, it is the worst out of the Rocky movies. But is it like the worst movie ever? No, it's not that. It's definitely not that. In like the grand scheme, it's fine. It's watchable. The music is good. Actually, Bill Conti coming back was a nice, the score is good. Besides the stupid montage music, the rest of the music is good. I like. I think the direction is fine. The acting was good for the most part. So even though there's some 2s in here, I like the characters enough. I'm going to give it a 3 overall. Like I think it's watchable. I think it's pretty good. It's just that the other ones are great. Some of the other ones. I don't even love Rocky 4 that much, but like I wouldn't say that this is such a step below that it's like, what a disaster. I mean, I guess some people feel that way. I think it is a watchable movie. I think it's pretty good. And I didn't hate it as much as I thought I might.
You said everything. I give it a 3. I enjoyed it. I would have given it a 1 if you had told me this years ago, before rewatching it. I did not like it, but not rewatching, I'm like, you know what? It's actually not that bad of a film. Is it the worst out of 1 through 5? Okay, in a sense, yes, in terms of where Rocky went through in the journey. Other than that, I thought it was pretty good. Same camera shots, totally different, 90s. So they changed some camera angles here and there. Music is totally different. They brought back some of the music, the do-do-do-do.
Yeah, they brought back the themes. It's good.
Yeah, they did. One scene I did like a lot. I don't know if you liked it, but the scene I did like is when he was winning the championship belt. Rocky's next to the punching bag, and he was going bang, and he was hitting it mad hard, and all of them got like they all jumped because he was literally hitting it like really hard. I thought it was really cool because it was showing you like he still has it. It's not like he don't, but he was really invested in the fight. Like he really wanted him to win. And then when he said, "Oh, it couldn't have happened without the Duke," I said, "Oh, that's a shot in the gut."
That's it. He's a traitor, officially
like,
traitor.
Oh man. But I loved it though. He was hitting that bag really hard. I thought that was actually pretty cool. But yeah, I give it a 3. It's not really that bad of a film. Okay, total points.
Total points for me is a 13 out of a 25. Yeah, there's low points. Yes, I would agree. I do think this is the worst Rocky movie. But there's a difference between being the worst Rocky movie and like the worst movie ever. And it's definitely not that. It's watchable enough. It's pretty good. 13 out of 25.
I'm 1 point above you. I'm at a 14 out of a 25. I'm really shocked because I thought I would have this below 10s.
I thought I was going to give this like an 8. Just from what I've heard, because I've never seen it.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be that, but it's not. I actually really enjoyed this, and honestly, I agree with you. I think if I do another Rocky rewatch in a year from now, or whatever, I could go 1 through 5.
Yeah, this is easy.
Doesn't
and
even
it's only
bother
an hour
me.
40 minutes. It's not even long. It's like it's fine.
And my man, the priest was there. Hey, Father Mackenzie.
Yeah.
he's like, I don't know why. I like when he does that stuff.
Yeah, they even brought back the priest to do the blessings. Like,
yeah, and then he did it at the end too. When first of all, the priest was there while he's fighting in the street, which I thought that was funny.
That was
that
what's
was
going
funny,
on? Why is he there?
Yeah. All right, Nate, what is going to be up next on the podcast?
Okay. Coming up next, we got a new month. We are doing female-led action movies. So we're going to be kicking it off with a Tony Scott movie called Domino, starring Keira Knightley. And then we've made it to the end, my friend. We've come to Rocky Balboa. I've definitely seen this one. I saw this one in the theater. This is the only one I've seen in the theater. So I'm excited because I remember loving it. It's been a really long time since I've watched it. But I remember thinking it was great when I did see it. So we're going to be doing some Rocky Balboa to wrap up this franchise.
Well, not only we're doing Rocky Balboa, we're doing the newly
the
director's cut.
I'm excited about that. I haven't seen that version.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared, and then this is why. I don't know if they're gonna have scenes with Adrian dying of cancer.
Oh,
see, we don't know because remember in the movie she's
just dead already.
Yeah, she's already dead. So I don't know if they're gonna show flashbacks of Tylea Shire old and he's like struggling with it. I hope not.
True.
I don't want to look to see if there is.
No, don't check. It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I want to see where this goes. My mind is going all over the place because I'm gonna get really emotional because I remember seeing this in the theater, a little blurb. Yeah. I remember watching this in the theater, and when he goes to the grave and he's reading to her, I got choked up. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little choked up because I think it's one of the. I think it's Rocky and Adrian is one of the greatest love stories I think in cinema. You see their journey from the lows to the highs. It was like wow. But anyway, yeah. Well, can't wait to see this new director's cut. Never seen it before, so we're gonna check it out. All right. With that said, guys, you guys want to follow us in our social media accounts? Please follow Nate over on Instagram at Netflix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called Netflix Movie Reviews. Anything action movie guys related, head over to youtube.com/action movie guys. Subscribe, leave some comments on your favorite episodes, and of course, you guys can take us on the go with the Action Movie Guys podcast, available on all podcast platforms. And of course, you guys can follow us in our Geeks and Flicks accounts. Also, we got Geeks the letter N Flicks on TikTok and Instagram. Other than that, I'm your host, Ash Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.